Hey guys, this is Stephanie and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. So day 3, we started out by going to the Statue of Liberty. We got up early. We got on the red line. We took it all the way down to Battery Park and then we wandered around a little bit because it's really not very clear about where you're supposed to be. And we got on maybe the second ferry that took us out to the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty was actually a lot of fun. It was a lot of walking and my ankle was already kind of hurting, but I just kind of pushed through it. They give you this box thing with a lanyard you put around your neck and you plug your headphones in, and then you can listen to this self-guided tour of the Statue of Liberty. And it takes you all the way around the whole thing and has all this history, and I love that kind of stuff. It is right up my alley. They even have options of, if you want to hear more about this, press 99, and I hit 99 every time I want to know more. Whereas my sister's like, I just want to get through this. But I found it really interesting and really fun. And then I did get an ornament from there. I'm excited to have it. And then we took the ferry over to Ellis Island, which I was truly excited about. And I didn't even realize I barely took any footage of it, but we had the little earbud thing just like before. But they had I think 4 different over an hour self-guided tours. And we were like, we don't want to spend 4 hours here. So we kind of hopped around and looked at things. And I will admit it was depressing. I thought Ellis Island was going to be this historic place where you could see history. And instead it's like, hey, we were crappy to immigrants. And I was like, okay, and hey, we're still crappy to immigrants. And I'm like, yeah, this is depressing. I don't really like this. So we left somewhat quickly because both of us were just like, our legs are tired, we're a little bit hungry, let's just go. So being the geniuses that we were, we went to the next place that was closest, and that would have been the 9/11 Memorial. I know. It was depressing as well. The thing with the 9/11 Memorial is it is beautiful and it's a really cool place, but I stinking cried the whole time. I cried the whole time. I have some footage though. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is the actual whole of where the buildings were. They had 2 of them. I filmed one of them and they made it like a cool fountain and they had everybody's names around the edges, the people that died. I started losing it about there. The first clip is actually 2 pillars that survived the towers collapsing. And then this next one is actually a stairway from inside the building. Now, people actually escaped on the stairway. You're going to notice the top of the stairs are still together, but somewhere towards the bottom of the stairway, the steps kind of started disintegrating, and that's because it was so hot that the stone was literally crumbling, but people were still running down it at that point to escape. And then we went through this room where people were like, I know Stephanie, she was my cousin. She liked long walks on the beaches, pina coladas, and they had that about every person. And I just was crying. I was a mess. My mascara was everywhere. I could not keep it together. It was just such a tragic thing that happened. So many people died. So many civilians died, and so many firefighters and police officers and people serving others and trying to help. And it was a really sad day. I think it's easy to not think about it. I mean, I'm in the middle of the country. I didn't know anybody personally that was in there. And this thing happened, 17 years ago? And it's so sad. It's so sad. I will never go through another September 11th and think the same. It was truly, truly, truly sad and depressing. Now, the gift shop at the end, I think they had a little card there that said that a certain percentage of what you buy there will go to the families of the victims. So I had to buy something. So I got my husband a keychain and I got myself a bookmark. And I really do like this. It's a 9/11 Memorial bookmark. It's really pretty. And I will remember all of the sadness. But then we were leaving and we went from one depressing thing to another. We need to get happier. So a good thing that happened as soon as we walked out is we saw this beautiful street art right outside the 9/11 Memorial. And that did cheer us up. And then we actually went to go look for Hamilton's grave. We went to this first church, but it wasn't that one. It was the second church we went to, and that one had Hamilton's grave at it. Then we were really hungry, and so we went to this deli, and they had great food. I think we were so hungry we didn't even take pictures. I have a picture of my sister eating, and that's all I have. But the food was really, really good and locally made. And then we decided the proper form of therapy after our sad morning was going to be shopping at Chelsea Market. We hopped on the subway, we took it up to Chelsea Market, and Chelsea Market was super, super cool. If you ever go to New York City, go to Chelsea Market. I don't think it's a huge tourist trap. I think it's where locals actually go. Chelsea Market is like a bunch of little shops and stuff like that. Like you go in and you kind of go underground and then you keep going. So you're under buildings, you're under streets, and you're just going to all of these shops, and they all are local. I've never heard of any of them before. They were so cool. It was so much fun, and retail therapy is exactly what I needed. The first one we went to was what they call a pop-up shop. So they rent out these booths. I want to say they had like 40 some odd booths in this area, like probably the size of like an Old Navy or something like that. And then they have these 40 booths like they would at like a farmer's market, nix the food. So they are jewelry makers and clothes and hats and bags and decor and perfume and incense and all sorts of things. And they get us set up for 1 week. And then the next week they have 40 different booths in there. And it's kind of cool the way they do it. The booths we saw, we absolutely loved. I have some footage here. This is me in a dress that was lined in zippers, and actually the top and the bottom are attached, as you can see, and that was really fun. They also had a tie shirt, so it's like a shirt that was made out of ties, and kind of a non-typical way to do that. And then they had all this zipper work done as detail work on all of these dresses and these vests. The black vest with all the loops on it, that one was over $300. And I thought, oh, it's so cool, but oh my stars, $300. Most of the dresses were starting around like $180-ish. This last dress that has the zippers on the sleeve and down the front doesn't actually have any functional zippers. It was just a slip-on. And I just loved all of this guy's work. I thought it was beautiful. And it is so the way I would have dressed when I was in high school, let me tell you. They also had other people there. There's a guy who took records and he would make clocks out of them, and he would etch the top so it would look like the New York City skyline. There was jewelry, cuffs, earrings, guitar picks, all made out of records. Very clever. And then we also got jewelry. My sister and I got matching but not matching necklaces. And this is the necklace. I will show it to you. Right? Nope. I guess I won't. And this is the one I got, and I don't know if you can see it really well. It's some cogs and stuff from the inside of a watch, and then there is a cameo, and then there's a cameo on there as well. My sister's had the watch bits and an owl because she loves owls, and it's by Demary Galliano, and she was one of the ones who had a booth, and it was wonderful and amazing. And I will keep this box because I will probably buy stuff from her in the future. She's not on Etsy because she's like, all my pieces are individual, so it's really hard to put them on Etsy and have somebody buy exactly the thing, because then you got to go on and take it off because everything's individual, which I love that. And then we went down to a bookshop where I did not buy any books. You would be super proud of me. But I did buy 2 bookmarks. They are New York City ones, and these are magnetic-y ones, so it's got a magnet in the middle like there. And it also has a really great view of Central Park. And this one is a view of Central Park. So I got 2 bookmarks there and a book for my mother and some footage. So we went down a few stores, and they had these tacos, and they were like Asian tacos. They were super good. And they had some other shops as well. One of them I went in, and they had these little hands. They're from SNL. I don't know if you ever saw SNL, but the I'm Junice, that one. Yes, they had little hands, and they were 25 cents each. So I got them so I can creep people out. And then they had another pop-up shop area. I have footage of that. And one of the shops was extra cool because they had these prints that are just beautiful. And I don't know if the sparkles will come through on my camera, but they were beautiful sparkles. And then this one I got, find it somewhere. And these are actually cards, but I will probably frame them because I feel like they're both beautiful. And this one has books on it and shoes, and I'm like, come on. But I had footage of that little shop too. And that was really fun walking around Chelsea Market. We probably were there for 2.5, 3 hours just walking around and having fun. And then we went to Mood. Mood is off of Project Runway. It is a fabric store, and it is known for having a dog named Swatch, who is a Boston Terrier, and I wanted to get my picture with Swatch. This was like a life goal of mine. But when we got there, Swatch had already left. I know. I was so sad. I really was legit sad because I was like, but I love that dog. Side note, New Yorkers are very friendly when you ask them, can I pet your dog? They're like, yes, and they're super friendly. I actually didn't find any New Yorkers that were rude unless you stop in front of them and you're taking a picture or something and you just stop. I mean, but I feel like that irritates anybody in any city, not just New Yorkers. So they were friendly. But we went to Mood Fabrics, and this is actually a business card, but it's really, really it's really, really sturdy. So I'm going to use this as a bookmark because I like bookmarks. And I did get some shirts there. I didn't buy any fabric because, well, A, I don't sew much, and B, I didn't want to bring it back with me. So I did get this shirt for my Mark because he too likes to watch Project Runway. Not as much as I do, but he does like to watch it. And then I got this one for me because it makes me happy. I do wish they weren't in white, but you know, it is what it is. I have some footage of Project Runway, and I did pretend like I was a contestant rushing to get things and leave. I'm so weird sometimes. Then we did our carriage ride in Central Park, and it was so great. I'm going to show you guys that footage. Our horse's name was Murphy, and this was a 45-minute ride, and actually it was a little closer to an hour, and it cost like $115, which is a lot, but my ankle was hurting a lot by then. I didn't want to walk anymore. I just wanted to be able to see Central Park and see all of it or a lot of it and not have to walk around on my ankle. So this was a really way to go about that. Also, our driver was a really cool guy. He was from Turkey. He knew all about the area. He lived in New York for years and years, and he was talking about how this was filmed here and that was filmed there. We got our pictures by a fountain, which was fun. And then we also got our pictures by the fountain where Friends was filmed. Now, this is not the exact same fountain because they rebuilt the fountain in LA, and that is where they filmed that. But it is the fountain that inspired it, so we said it was going to be good enough. But that was really, really fun. We totally enjoyed our trip around Central Park. Got to see people acting like people, not in the city. Though it is so weird to me that there's this just huge piece of park right in the middle of a metropolis area. It's just so weird to me. But in the long run, I would say that that horse carriage ride was worth it. I liked it. Then for dinner, we went back to the village. We hopped on to the subway and went back to the village. We went to a restaurant called Baba Ji, and it was an Indian restaurant. Now, locally here, the price point on that was maybe $5 more for a meal there than it was where I live, which is not much of an increase, saying the city is so much bigger. But the food was amazing. It was definitely the best Indian food I ever had. Our appetizer, we had General Tso's cauliflower, which basically they took cauliflower, they breaded it in the General Tso's breading and fried it and put the sauce on it, and it was amazing. It was good, and I would go off keto just to eat that again because it was so good. For the meal, we had our naan, we had our coconut curry shrimp, and then we also had some Brussels sprouts, which were really good. Then our waiter brought us dessert. Even though we didn't order it, he was like, well, they're already made for the night, so you can just have one. And it was like a chai tea popsicle on a shish kebab stick. It was really cool. Best meal we had, and definitely not the most expensive one. We also got to walk through a movie that was being filmed, which was kind of fun. It's going to be called Happy, and it has the actor from Luke Cage, who I didn't see, and then another actress walked past us, who I did see, and she had like a hair and a makeup person by her, and it looked very important, and I was like, I saw somebody famous, except that I didn't know who they were, so I don't know if that counts. To end our day, we went to the top of 30 Rock, so it's called the Top of the Rock Tour. They take you up in this scary elevator, and then you get a view of the city, and I'm going to show you guys the views of the city. The view of the city was so pretty. Now, I feel like you can't differentiate a lot of these because it looks so much like the rest of it, and when it's dark and all we have are city lights, it's also hard to decide what is what, but it was really pretty cool. I am like terrified of heights, so I was like huge chicken butt up there and like not wanting to move and not wanting to move my camera, and my sister's standing by the edge and I'm hyperventilating, and then I was queasy for like 12 hours because I just am afraid of heights. It's a thing. It's a thing.